Hello, model railroad fans. I haven't done a overall review of my layout for about 18 months, so I thought I'd update here in January of 2022. So this is my garage. Layout occupies less than half of it. I've had suggestions I get rid of the car and just make the whole garage a layout, but that's not going to happen. I like having my car in the garage, but anyway, this is a workbench. I work inside most of the time. Today in middle of January, it's 58 degrees this morning in the garage. In the summertime, it'll get up into the high 80s in here, so I need a place to work inside. So I'm going to go through some of the detail and history of the layout. This could be a little long. I started this layout, like I said, just something to do. I had a train set as a kid, and my dad held it in the attic, kept it in the attic until he passed away in 1984. I got it out and really didn't do a lot with it. I did some with it when my kids were younger, but it didn't work out real well. But after I retired, I got it out of the box and decided to start with it. I have a history of the layout in my playlist titled the same. Shows from start to finish what I was doing. But so I tried everything over the many years I've been working on this. I started with some rock moldings. Just everything on here is commercial product. I didn't do anything special, except for my roads maybe, but I got some rock molds and laid rock. I got shaper sheet, did my little hills here, kind of like that. Most of these trees, the pine trees are from Hobby Lobby, and a lot of the others are, I think, JTT trees. So when I built it, I wanted a lot of track and to get as much on here as I could. I decided in the interest of more buildings, I eliminated tunnels and things like that. Besides, they took a lot more work to build. So I just go through what's here. These are, I think it's called a reliable warehouse. I like the angles on those. This area originally was just for locomotive storage, but then I've completely remodeled this area here. I've remodeled quite a bit of this from the start. This is a smooth it plaster system. That's the only place I have it, is right around this building. I had gravel all through here, or ballast, and I get rid of that. It's REA. I like to buy the little kits with the people, so I have a lot of people on my layout. I recently put on just plug it lights in the buildings, just plug lights, and then I recently put in signals. Those signals are not real complex at all. They're not track detection connected or anything. They just connect to my switch motors underneath and tell me if the switch is in a good position or a bad position for the oncoming train. And I don't put them on every intersection. Like if the train can go straight or diverge, then I don't need a signal, because I'm just using them to keep from derailing or shorting out. I recently added this 8-inch extension here. My title on my videos is 4x8x2, and that's because there's actually two 4x8 sheets of plywood. So I built the first 4x8 here, and then I added the second 4x8 down this way. I guess I should put a little plus symbol on the 4 because it's now 8 inches wider on this side. I mentioned the smooth it for the roads around that building, but all the other roads are these glitter sheets. I get at Hobby Lobby. I think they're called Silly Winks. And I cut those and I put some black, flat black paint, spray paint over them to get rid of the glittery part. So it's real easy to make roads that way. I call them my lazy man roads. So just recently I removed all of my Atlas snap switches on the far side, so I no longer have those. I have a small fortune invested in Smales. This layout originally was a single track because this part right here curved over in here. So I had 3 loops on this end to match the 3 on the other end, but I decided I want a double main, so I tore that out and then extended this even after I built the second layout. So that went through a remodeling process, and as you've seen in my previous videos, I replaced those number 4 turnouts with number 6s so that loop doesn't line up anymore, and I'm going to have to redo that. And I'm thinking about connecting it over to this track here, over that way, and then putting a reversing electric deal in there, auto reverser. I bought one. I used some Woodland Scenics water, kind of like that. I got my fisherman in there, although I think I sucked one of them up in a vacuum one day. He seems to have gone missing. I have an oil platform over there. I tried to get a variety of industries on here so I could run different kinds of cars. I got my little grain co-op area here with the truck, and kit bashed this I think it's a model head house or something like that, and I wanted a place to load the grain, so I kit bashed this, and then I measured the top of the locomotive while sitting on a table, and then when I tried to run it, the track was elevated so the locomotive wouldn't go under it, so I cut a piece of plywood and put it under there. Just one of the many oopsies I've done on this layout. So here's some more guys here. That's what I call working on the electrical problem. So as you can see, I packed a lot of stuff in here. I would buy these models on eBay and think, geez, where am I going to put it? So I find a place for about everything I bought. And this Interstate, I think it's Interstate Fuel and Oil, that one gave me a lot of trouble trying to figure out how to wedge him in there, but I got him in there. This is one of the first models I bought, and I didn't use it till on this end. And there's a Water Street warehouse. I have a lot of warehouses. Here's some more of that water, Woodland Scenics water. Down here, I didn't want to do any more rock molding, so I did a shaper sheet, but then when I expanded my layout, I had to run my supporting 2x4 down there, so I got to fix that. And here's a substation that was just too big, so I cut it in half, and I'm just using half here. I have the other half over there I'll use sometime. It's my coal loader. I bought that early. Sorry about the shadows in here. And finally got it on here. It doesn't make much sense right next to the power station, but I had it and I was going to get it on here somewhere. And I have some nice operating videos of the coal being loaded and backed into the power plant. And that shelf on the left, I'm gonna remodel that. I'm gonna add an expansion wing on the left side and put another track down through there. I like to have some operating sessions where I can, drop stuff off at those background buildings. So that's it's kind of a review. I've got these little labels on here to tell me what DCC numbers the smails are. And I use an MRC controller. He's down under this in the shelf I built. Pull-out shelf. I've got a Sprague 3 under there, and then I also use Arduino. Right now it's in the house. I've got it disconnected from the layout, trying to install a Wi-Fi card to it. And I have infrared sensors on my layout down in here. I think I have 8 or 10 of them. They're kind of weird looking because they're green once I turn on the layout. But I put those in so I could stop my trains in an exact spot using JMRI scripting. So this is kind of an update on my layout here in January of 2022. As I worked on this layout, I'd watch YouTube videos, watched hundreds of them about how to do stuff, and some of the more advanced model railroaders talk about an era or a time period to model and a particular railroad and location. And since I was doing a little 4x8, I didn't see any need to do that, and I couldn't come up with a name. I thought it was kind of a little over the top to name a little 4x8 plywood. So, as time has gone on, and I bought a lot of rolling stock and over a dozen locomotives off eBay, get a deal. I'm a sucker for a deal. I kind of started to focus on Southern Pacific. They have a connection to Texas since they purchased the Texas New Orleans line in the 1800s. And so what I've done is I've got all my Southern Pacific cars here lined up on the layout. I've been buying some flat cars and some other kind of cars to intersperse and not just have box cars. That's kind of boring. So later in this video, I'm going to do a run by this train. But I think I have maybe 1 or 2 more Southern box cars, about 25 Southern Pacific cars. And that's too many for one train. This little locomotive will struggle to get them around the layout. And but I have 2 or 3. I think I have 3, 4, 5 Southern Pacific locos. So I can run 3 trains on here doing circles. Actually 4 trains doing circles. But anyway, I'm just going to run this one train to give you guys want to see a train run, something to look at.